Alrighty, yo, what's going on, all my gamers, all my reaction gamers chat? I had originally made a video about this and recorded it, but I thought after, sitting back and thinking about people's reactions to the short that I made, I figured I would come back and actually do this again. I would re-record it. You guys won't see it. Basically, I am going to come at this again with a more objective and reasonable response, I think. So this is about anime being political, right? And I said there's no way that anime is ever political, blah, blah, blah. I was popping off at the mouth. I was trying to be funny. And that's why I'm leaving that short because I think it's funny. The meme is more important, chat. The meme must stand above all. But when I initially talked about One Piece, right, I said that no anime should be political, and I think the thing about it is that it's obviously not right. That's not correct objectively. So when we talk about anime and it being political, I think that's kind of the beauty of anime and like video games and stuff like that, is that it can be whatever you want it to be. That's why, when someone said that like anime is like 70% garbage, that might not be a fake number, not because anime is bad, but because there's just so much out there. Some of it has to be bad. And that's saying that anime is political and saying that it's not, it's just not, it's just not realistic because there's just so much anime out there. Some of it has to be political, right? Like Code Geass or something like that, or Attack on Titan. Right, Attack on Titan in the second half, but in my opinion, I didn't really like it because I didn't get into it for the political stuff. It was very well written. Don't get me wrong; it is amazing. That's just not what I was there for. So let's rewatch this and be a little bit more objective, right? Let's talk more about anime and anime being political and stuff like that, right?
Political analogy comparing anime tourists and colonization. And when I call you out on said political analogy, you tell me I'm too political and need to go outside. Alright, bro. To clarify my point in your part of the video, all I was saying is that I find it embarrassing how some anime fans act like victims whenever new people, let's call them normies, join the community. I'm not saying you're one of the extreme voices. In fact, I thought you were pretty light. My only issue was the comparison. As a major figure in the community, you're almost normalizing this analogy, and in doing so, giving more ammo to these extreme fans.
So here's the thing, especially when they were talking about people coming in and ruining it, we were talking like there's also something that people were talking about recently when it comes to fan service and why people are now gatekeeping normies and people coming into the space because they talk about fan service. Now, the fan service thing is a lot easier to explain and a lot easier to tell people why it's okay to gatekeep these people. And I stand firm on this, why these people should be gatekept, because it's not like these people are coming in and like, oh, I don't really like fan service. Fan service isn't for me. If that's how people were, I think this discussion would never be happening. I think the initial problem with fan service or anti-fan service people, and this will also correlate into the political thing, is that they come in, judge you for what is already established in the medium, and then call you names like terrible things. Career-ending things is the way that people like to put it, and that's just not right. Because you don't belong here, you weren't here, you don't know anything about it, but yet you wanted to reshape it in your image, and that's where the colonizing analogy comes in, which I think it's right. It sounds about right. Coming in and taking over a space, trying to make it yours. You weren't here. You have there's like 60, 70, 80 years of history here, and you want to change it just because, there's a little too much fan service. I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? That just doesn't sound right. And so here's where I think this kind of correlates with politics and thinking anime is political. Me personally, if I say I don't like when anime is political, it's more so I hate when people bring in politics into anime, right? A good example of this is Frieren. People are trying to make these analogies. Oh, Frieren is doing this because of the demons. The demons is an allegory, an analogy, an analog, in any kind of word. I don't even know half these words to this, and that. and then they start judging you by it and saying, if you like this, you're that, and you're a terrible person, and you shouldn't watch this anime, and blah 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 blah. That's where I think a lot of anti-political anime people are, because anime is an escapism. Games are an escapism. When you come and bring real world stuff into anime and video games and stuff like that, it's gonna make people not wanna have you here. You know what I'm saying? That's why things like Concord, Sweet Baby Inc., all that woke stuff crashed and burned and is being spoken out about in video games. Because, bro, I just want to play a game. At the end of a long day, I want to get on my PC and I want to play a game. I no longer want to think about the real world. When I get home, I want to watch Kita-san Black Special Week or Tokai Teo. I don't know how I forgot her name. She's one of my favorite Umas. I just want to watch them race and do fun stuff and be anime horse girls. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think people don't want to have that correlation and don't want that to be compared. But at the same time, it just is political, right? There are political stuff. Code Geass, someone said Gundam. The One Piece, I can't really tell you whether that's true or not. To me, in my opinion, One Piece is just like a power of friendship anime, shonen, stuff like that. That's how it looks to me. That's how I digest it, because I'm not taking it further than that. If you do, and you see more correlation than that, that's totally cool, right? It's just how I see it. So let's keep going.
If you've been paying attention recently, you would have noticed the community has gotten pretty extreme and reactionary. Just look at the controversy with Bocchi the Rock that's happening right now. I find often that the term anime tourist is at the center of all of this. Honestly, it's starting to feel a lot like the pipeline we saw in the gaming community back in the late 2010s. I don't think you're personally pushing this rhetoric, but I included your analogy in my last video because it truly reflects how these anti-tourists see themselves. And also, side note about the two political parts, I don't think you can separate art and politics.
You absolutely can. You 100% can. You just sit there and watch it and enjoy it. Like, when people are too political, they're just, like I said with the Freeran thing, people are trying to get on here and get on Twitter and get likes and, oh my God, this is fascism, blah, 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 blah. When Freeran is just talking about demons, legitimate demons, not an allegory, not a metaphor refantagio, none of that. We mean a legitimate one-to-one demon. Those that like in the Bible, those demons. That's what she means by demons. If you the more you push for coexistence, the more people will die. And then people are trying to take that and make it more political than it needs to be. And that's just not, that's just not what it is. You know what I'm saying? And people don't like that, because those people who try to say, oh, you have no media literacy, blah, 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 blah. Those people will call you names if you enjoy it. That's not, I just don't think that's fair. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think that's fair. It's really not, because you didn't like it in the first place. You weren't here from the beginning. You came here maybe a year ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. And that's not, you don't have a place here. You don't have an established place here. Let me say it like that. You're not established in this community. You're not established in this medium. You're not established here. So that's where they're just called tourists. And if you want to gatekeep those people out, I'm just saying it would be for the better, instead of having people run around and try to tell you what One Piece is and blah 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 blah, and why you should enjoy it, why you shouldn't enjoy it. I just think I don't even watch One Piece. I might watch One Piece because Yamato, because she has some amazing honkers, bro. Bro, that woman, her honkers are a swinging, and that's all I really want from her.
And anime is no exception. Politics is an inherent aspect of art itself. So in response to your comment saying,
it's not that deep. May I remind you, we are literally talking about Japanese cartoons. It's really not.
It in fact is that deep. So let me.
I think it can be that deep, right? There's a lot of animes, like I said, like Code Geass, Attack on Titan. There are animes where it can be that deep. And I will absolutely give you that point. I think it absolutely can be that deep. I just don't like the whole thing with tourism with with politics, because it'll just separate us, bro. It will not. You can see how it's affecting regular politics now, bro. It's nothing good can come from trying to make things political. Here, I'm gonna watch this song clip and then we'll just wrap up the video.
One Piece is very political.
Yes.
What aspect?
Which is a very political anime, Connor.
It's okay. Well,
It is a very political anime.
you told me One Piece is very political.
Yes.
What aspect?
I don't think showing this picture really says anything, because you're showing this outside the anime, and this just shows that these people are weebs, or they like anime. That doesn't really show me anything. If I put a picture of Kita-san Black on a flag and then go out and then just try to protest, does that make Uma Musume inherently political? I don't think so. Now, at the same time, you know, whatever you extrapolate from One Piece, you know what I'm saying? That's your right to interpret it the way you want. I will never tell you are doing. I mean, no, there's definitely people who are doing it wrong, but like, I can't tell you for One Piece because I don't watch One Piece, right?
Oh my God, yes, I love this. Okay. This is gonna piss off everybody, but I'm so right about this, even though like I'm first
Hassan Piker. Sorry,
of all,
I still have to get that in there.
again, maybe a little bit too long as an arc. He's quite literally about like, you know, indigenous populations being removed from their land and like violently trying to you know, find autonomy and emancipation through, you know, through violent means directly against like an enemy that is much more powerful than them. That is like, you know, that's like a land back movement, which is inherently very political, very leftist.
I feel like I watched I read a different.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to describe this to him. He's like, "What are you talking about?"
There's gonna be people who see it that way. Hassan, obviously, you know, Hassan Pickle is gonna see things politically because all he does is see things politically and can't see things any other way, and then, you know, tries to backtrack when, you know, it bites him in the ass. But, you know, that's Hassan Piker.
I was like, man, I saw funny gum man.
Yeah.
No, One Piece is about having fun.
When I see One Piece, I just see friends going around trying to find the One Piece, and, you know, girls with big honkers. See Yamato. God, that woman.
Fun with your friends and being free.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, first of all, Luffy is a terrorist. He is. He is.
I mean,
He literally is. He's fighting.
I hate that you're kind of right.
Yes.
I fucking hate that you're kind of right.
Yeah, he is a.
I think you can definitely insert politics into stuff, even when it's not inherently political, right? You could do it with like that manga that came out, Drama Queen. You know, with the aliens that come down from Earth, save the people, and then they take over peacefully. You can kind of see that and say the same thing. But when I read it, I just like it because it has a really funny art style. I like the two main characters. They're really funny. And that's all it really is to me. You know what I'm saying? That it depends on the person.
Freedom fighter in the most like honorable sense of the word.
Yeah.
He is quite literally fighting against an unjustifiable, corrupt military apparatus that is like holding the entire world hostage, the world government and the Navy. He's literally killing.
God, his head really is tiny. Jeez, bro. He's got a tiny head. I never noticed it until now. It's really bad.
Killing cops. Like he's killing sea cops and motherfuckers.
Does he actually end people? I thought he just beat them up until maybe in the later seasons, right? Because like some animes, the beginning seasons, they just knock people out, but then later on, you know, it actually goes till the end.
They're like, no, that's not politics. What do you mean? That's just like gum man having fun.
I mean, the thing is, like, I remember you saying this yesterday when we were having dinner, and I was just like, I think with One Piece, just because of the art style and just the way things are, how funny Rubber Man, of course, you know, you can take it at that level, and it's still very, very interesting stories. But if you break down some of the stuff that happens, half of it is Luffy going up against a corrupt government or corrupt,
Ow, that still hurt me the second time. So, like I said, it's really gonna depend on how you extrapolate the stuff about it. You are never forced to have to actually understand the political side of it. Like for something like, I don't know, Fairy Tale. I'm trying to think of like anime, like Attack on Titan. You could just be like, wow, they're killing Titans. That's kind of cool. That's all that really matters to me. Or One Piece, you're like, wow, Nami's really hot and Luffy's punching stuff. That's pretty cool. That's all it really has to be to some people. And, the only part with like these media literacy people is that they're kind of forcing you to take it the way that they see it. And that's why when they're tourists, you just kind of got to gatekeep, bro. At some point, you just got to tell people, all right, simmer down. And if they don't, you got to be like, all right, bro, you're out of here. That's all I'm trying to say, right? That's all I should have said at the beginning, but you guys aren't going to see that first recording. Chat, I think this time was definitely a better discussion. But chat, let me know how you guys feel. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you gamers in the next one. Bye.